garage is a complete mess as of right now. We are going to be cleaning both the engine bay and the garage today. All right, so as you guys saw the Evo in the garage, we are going to be pressure washing, detailing, and basically degreasing the whole engine bay today. We're going to be cleaning the garage, and we're also going to head out to Mace Performance to take the built Evo 9 transmission to pretty much get taken apart and start inspecting as to why I don't have first gear. I lost first gear once we took it to the drag strip. I launched it a couple times, and pretty much towards the end it locked me out of first gear. So before everything goes back in, I do want to make sure I get that sorted out. We're also going to be checking out the VR4 as it's been there for 3 or 4 weeks now. I've been waiting for one final part, and it's pretty annoying because that's the only reason as to why I haven't been able to finish it. So I'll give you guys an update at the shop. Let's head out there right now, and once I get there, we'll continue on with the video. Right before we start on the trans, I did want to give you guys an update on the VR4. So as you guys know, we were doing the timing belt and 60K service on it. I'm currently waiting for a innovative motor mount. It's been ordered for a little over 2 weeks now, and I barely got the notification that it got shipped today. So it won't be arriving for another week or so due to the holidays and pretty much New Year, so I'm guessing everyone's just super busy. But unfortunately, this is the whole reason why the car isn't done. We are focusing on the Evo build, so I'll go ahead and put you guys on a time lapse, start taking this trans apart, and I'll show you guys how I did it. Okay, so I initially started off by removing the two 14mm bolts that you guys see up top by the top of the bell housing. Besides that, I did go ahead and remove the hydraulic throttle bearing. Now I'm going to go ahead, turn the transmission around, and pretty much start taking off all the 14mm bolts that you guys see here that are pretty much attaching the case to the bell housing side. So there is quite a bit. Alright, so quite a bit happened. So you want to start off by taking off all the 14mm bolts you see around the bell housing. There's going to be two right here that you can't reach without removing the gear selector, which is also held out by 4 12mm bolts and a 14mm bolt right here. Once that's off, you now have access to this. Just make sure you go around. So we went ahead and removed the 3 bolts up top, and we removed the Torx 50 bolt that was on this side. Oh, there you go. Okay, so based on what we're seeing, here's this copper sleeve that we noticed was just out. I'm guessing that's what prevents slag from the fork and the slider here. But it doesn't really seem to have any major damage as far as like the gears and anything like that. We're assuming this is what gave out. I would like to hear your guys' input as far as like my transmission experts, because I mean, I personally have never pulled one apart. I don't really know what I'm looking at. Kind of cool to see inside. This thing is supposed to have carbon synchros, Evo ultimate gear ratio, and it was, if I recall, cryo treated. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's supposed to basically function better with heat. So it's supposed to be a quote-unquote built transmission, but I can't tell you guys just straight from the naked eye because this is my first time ever dealing with one. So you guys let me know in the comment section what you guys feel this transmission issue could be or what to check. But at least for now, I'm going to go ahead and start heading back home. I'm going to go ahead and buy some degreaser or some sort of detergent to be able to clean the garage and the Evo, and then from there I'll keep you guys updated if I get any news on the transmission. Alright, so it's currently a couple days. I had to stop filming because not a severe case, but I got a pretty bad case of the flu, to the point where I've been in bed for like the last 3 or so days. and this is my first day trying to get back into the routine. So here we have the Evo. Honestly, shout out to Marissa for bringing me this power washer for Christmas. It's been the holiday season and it's honestly just been super hectic. So I finally went out. I went to Walmart, picked up this Mean Green super strength cleaner and degreaser. I was trying to find different type of brushes to clean the engine bay with, so I got this somewhat medium aggressive brush, and they have this soft one that I'm going to be using for the more delicate parts within both the engine bay and the control arms and stuff like that in here. I'm low-key a little bit out of whack because I never get sick to begin with. Like, it's very rare, and the fact that I had to sit in bed for 3 days by force, like I was pretty much miserable because I don't know if anyone else like goes through this, but it's kind of like a toxic productivity loop where it's like if you don't do anything productive within the day, you just feel like absolute crap. Well, that was basically me. Like, I couldn't edit, I couldn't do anything. We did pull the motor last time, and this honestly bummed me out because when we're pulling the motor, we ended up damaging the frame a little bit. I bent it because the engine fell in it a little bit, and then once it fell in, and we tried to pull it back up quickly, and it ended up pulling on the frame as well. So that really bummed me out because I'm trying to make this a super clean build, and I've noticed that I do tend to either rush things. I was trying to finish the video basically before the day ended. As you guys could see, it was getting pretty dark, but I just need to stop that, especially going into 2023. I had the goal to hit 100k subscribers this year. Didn't happen, I'm far from it. But one thing or one lesson that it taught me, and hopefully it could teach you guys, is to stop hyper focusing on things within a certain time frame. Like, don't expect things to happen fast. Like, I have to learn to like gratification. It's something that I've always been big on, but even with YouTube, it's bound to happen. I see myself doing this for years, decades, hopefully, and it's just something that I have to learn to really delay on. And hopefully you guys, whatever you guys are doing, it kind of teaches you to kind of just be patient. It was honestly like a slap in the face because in a sense it was a failure, but at the same time I got a big lesson out of it where it's bound to happen no matter what. As long as I keep posting, I don't want to keep just posting whatever random content just to basically feed the algorithm. I don't want to fall into that trap because I almost feel trapped. And the whole point of building a channel and building cars is because you enjoy it, it's your passion, and it's what you want to do, right? So I do feel like a lot of content creators get stuck in this loop. I'm deciding to kind of slow things down, relax, post at my own pace. If I can't finish a video within a day, it is what it is. Going over a parts list as far as what I plan on getting, what I plan on eating, and this is the part where I need your guys' help because I need you guys to tell me if there's anything specific that I'm missing. For example, seals, gaskets, just random things that I might need just to kind of have a checklist as far as what to go. I also want to give a huge shout out to the guys from STM because they actually hit me up saying like, hey, if you need help getting parts, you know, reach out to us, we'll help you out. And it's pretty rare to see that from companies, so shout out to you guys know who you are. But I will be hitting you guys up soon once we figure out what we need for this build. Oh snap. Let's see how this goes. Nice. Alright. Oh, yes. You could already see the control arm coming. Look at that. I just realized that if I actually want to do a nice deep clean, I'm probably going to have to remove a lot of these things. Someone came to interrupt me.
You invited me.
I just realized that the ABS module has a bunch of lines hooked up that go across the firewall. So this is actually a lot more work than I expected. I'm actually just gonna end up removing the fenders as well. And I've came to the conclusion that I'd much rather have the engine bay painted, because even if I was to clean the frame one, it still has some minor imperfections. The paint is dull. We bent the frame here. Are you crying? Or are you just sick?
Sick and tired of your shit. Oh, you're recording.
You know how to take off fenders off an Evo? It's up here.
I know how to, and then on the inside door jamb, and then down there. I know.
That's because I already told you.
No, you didn't. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Beautiful. Good job.
Thank you. I know I'm beautiful.
Only took you like 20 minutes.
I'm sorry, what'd you say this is? Fiberglass?
It's fiberglass and carbon. What you know about that though?
Here, take your crappy ass fenders.
Oh. Shout out to Carbonetics.
Sorry, Sergio.
Trying to take out the ACD pump.
Why do you seem flustered, sir?
Because honestly, like, this whole Evo project has honestly become so overwhelming just by looking at it. Like, there's so many little things that I didn't even take into consideration.
Well, that's obvious. It's usually how men do things. They just kind of like jump in, and then they don't really know what to expect, and then they freak out when they see a lot more parts than
I expected. Yeah. I still have the harness attached to that piece. I took off one of these. Alright, because you want to do everything.
Can I have that stick, please? Thank you. I'm gonna break the harness.
Please don't, I need it. And then I was taking off the power steering hardline, which is bolted down to this. Taking off the bolt right on this side, took off the hoses. We still gotta disconnect the hose that's going onto the rack right there. Alright, got the hardline off. Ready to start using the power washer once again. This is as far as I was able to get as far as removing a bunch of the stuff. Now I do plan on removing everything so that I have access to the carpets, which I will be focusing on the next episode. But as you guys can see, it's very extensive as far as making this thing completely bare, but this is bugging me a little bit too much. So I'd much rather get this fixed and just have the engine bay painted the same color, just refreshed, just to make the engine bay look that much cleaner once it's all done. Just spent the last half an hour or so trying to clean this as much as possible. Do I see myself going through this?
at least one more time. Yes, especially down on the suspension components. I did clean them up pretty well, but if I want to be OCD, I might have to hit this thing a couple more times. But for the sake of the video, I did want to go over the parts list and what I plan on getting. Straight off the bat, the number one thing and priority right now is going to be to get the engine bay painted. So as you guys can see, even though I did wipe it down, clean it, I do want to get this thing refreshed. So I do plan on pretty much removing the harness, the carpet we still have to remove. There's just so much going on. The ABS module, the brake booster right there, pretty much remove the transfer case, get this thing back on the ground. So putting suspension components back on, putting the wheels on there, and taking this to the paint shop to get redone. So once it's back, we start putting everything back together, and hopefully by then we have all the necessary parts for the engine bay as well. So as you guys know, as far as what I have so far is the forward facing kit, which should be here pretty much within the next 2 weeks or so. I'm waiting for BS Fab to let me know when my stuff is ready, so that should be looking pretty sick. I do have to put this on the engine stand in the following episode as well. And so far I've only gotten the 1650cc injectors, which are what are gonna need fuel wise to get this thing going. It already has the Walboro 450 fuel pump, so we should be okay on that. But we also need to order a fuel pressure regulator because I still have the stock one. And I do have to order a new blow valve, an external wastegate for the forward facing kit. We still have to order the turbo. We have to order the motor mounts. I still have to order the new clutch because this one's absolute garbage. Do not get this one. Besides that, I do have to get the EGR delete. I do have to get the wiring harness. I'd rather not run the OEM one just to make a nice little wire tuck. I do have to get the powder coated valve cover done. Of course, I am gonna have to get the ARP head studs. If I recall, this thing already has cams, but we might build the head. Still not 100% sure on that. We already have the aftermarket AEM fuel rail. I do have some 1000cc injectors that I might just sell off. Besides that, we do have to get the transmission fixed. I do want to get a new front mount intercooler core because the one on here was pretty beat up since I've gotten it. And of course, just random miscellaneous bolts and gaskets that I want to pretty much replace while everything's out. It's just a good idea to get everything done at once. And one thing that I have to tell myself is I don't want to rush this build for the sake of putting out videos. It's one thing is you shouldn't be building your cars to please others. You should be taking your time. It's something that I've been wanting to do for years now, and documenting the process is just part of it. So I can't let that take over and force me to do things the wrong way just because I have to put a video out there for you guys. So just be patient with this build. It will take a while. Other than that, I appreciate you guys tuning in to another Evo video. Stay tuned for the next one where I might pretty much put this thing back on the ground and get ready to get taken to the paint shop. I wasn't expecting to do this, but I do want to do things right. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe. See you on the next one.